Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy, who knows what day it is and who cares, to join me. I really do appreciate it. Listen, there's something that I find freakishly weird about, and cool all at once. A freakishly cool weird about making vlogs right at around midnight. This is like my new thing. I don't care. You feel me? I'm not the guy. I have no life, and tonight I wanted to talk about how some people are just better, not just under the sheets. No, that's a lie. I'm good all the time. No, but I'm saying that like I'm a night person. You feel me? Like this has been established now since before my first failed time at trying to go to college. Long time ago. I'm just saying that I'm a night guy. Similar to a vampire. You feel me? Again, running joke here on the channel, but no, I'm not gonna self-deprecate because that's not what this is about. Right now, we're just talking about what are we talking about again? Friendly reminder, these are all impromptu talks, and if I didn't already introduce myself, I know I say it a lot, and it disgusts me, honestly, if we're being completely honest, but my name is Albert, and it's really nice to meet you. Yeah, so, I enjoy vlogging at this time of night, and moreover, being a night person, because now I remember what we're talking about, I feel like I'm so much more productive in the middle of the dead-ass night than I am at any time in the day, and I don't know if this is because I grew up, in this desert, like the high northern mountain desert, and I really, unless I'm being, super active or something, things I can do that. I can definitely go break a sweat, and all that fun stuff, and dig ditches, and wash dishes, and, put down stucco, whatever you need me to do. I'm your guy. I can do that at all times of the day. I'm just saying that I prefer to be awake in the middle of the night when everyone else is kind of asleep, and I've always kind of liked it like that, and I feel like, especially in big cities, I'd really enjoy being awake and doing all of my things that I needed to do for my day, from 11 at night to 5 in the morning, so that I could go sleep during the day. I mean, and I think it just, obviously, it's coincided with my geography of where I've been in my life, right? The majority of it, just because it didn't matter if I was here in these mountains or 3,000 feet below elevation where I am now in the valley of the greater Maricopa County, or in Nevada. I mean, these are places that are all very warm, and they're very cold at night, and if you didn't know that, then don't come to the desert thinking that it's just going to be hot all the time, just because especially during the winter, the temperature swings are stupid silly. They're I've measured temperature swings of up to 40 degrees from just 3,000 feet, right? And that's all that I'm saying, is that's a pretty significant degree variation in not just a relatively short distance of elevation, and that's weird. That's weird to me. Things that I notice these things, right? I used to tell, if it were my roommate or whoever, when we're traveling up into, Phoenix and stuff, that you start out, leaving the valley at about 5 o'clock or so, just in an absolute sweat, right? And then by the time you get 3 hours, north of that spot, you're freezing. You're literally in a place where the mountains are extremely high, and the Gian National Forest is there, and I've actually been stuck there more than a handful of times while blizzards have gone through, just so that I can drive 40 minutes south of them and be in hell again. You know what I mean? So shout out to the surface of the world that makes all of our lives so much more interesting, I guess, than they normally would be. You feel me? If shit was easy and people understood all the time what was going on and everything. But going back to that whole weather thing, you feel me? And how at night, I spent an entire month of my life sleeping outside of a tent at the Arizona State Fairgrounds, and this was during the state fair, so I'm thinking to myself that it's going to be hot, that no problem, I don't need a blanket, again, because I'm sweating profusely throughout the day, right? I'm thinking, no problem, it's going to be just like that at the nighttime, and Wouldn't you know it, it hits like 40 degrees, you know, and I'm just there like in my tent, just like freezing and stuff. And that's kind of when I had decided that cold nights outside in the desert were possible. And that's, again, I'm a night guy, so you know, I just want you to have this conversation, you know, with yourself, with your boo boo, with your bae, with your side bae, you know, like, I don't care who you talk to, you know. I mean, just have the conversation. But like, while most people are sleeping, I'm you know, watching reruns of Friends and drinking coffee and living my life so that I can do the majority of my sleeping during the day. And again, I know it's kind of, I mean, it's not unconventional though, right? I mean, just because, you know, my parents or whatever, or my grandparents, I mean, it didn't, who cares about all that stuff? In my own particular instance, I just like and I prefer being awake at night, you know? Um, I just, it's easier. It's easier on the eyes too. I love the sun. I do. I love hanging out in the sun. You feel me? I am not anti-sun. I just prefer, you know, the opulence of darkness, if that were a thing, as it is outside, right? And I mean a mitigated darkness, not a void or some weird ass cryptic ghastly darkness. I'm just saying that like an illuminated darkness, you know, like the good old moon gives us. You feel me? Like that kind, that blue kind, that kind of darkness. You guys ever been out in the middle of nowhere where it's been completely pitch black and all you have is the high desert sky? You'd think that it'd be like you know, fun and exciting and stuff, and it is, you know, but that's after the fact that you get like past the idea that like it's kind of terrifying, you know. It really is. I mean, you wouldn't think this, but the majority of most people have never seen the Milky Way, you know. They've never, because mainly where people are populated and placed throughout the world. You know, as a result of that comes all the smog and things that literally block the view, you know. But you find yourself out in the middle of nowhere in what could completely be as close to, you know, void, weird ass darkness and stuff, and you'll come to find that the sky is full of really cool things. They're called stars and planets and the universe, you know, all those things. Allegedly, you know, they're there, and I've seen them. I've seen what is what's up there, you know, and that's all fun and stuff. So shout out to all the very, you know, actually few people who've ever had. I mean, there was an instance, for example, in Los Angeles one time back in the day, and I can't think of when this was. It was early 80s or late 70s, but where all of the lights went out, you know, in the middle of the night, and as a result of that, people could see like the skyline of the universe, and they were freaking out, man. People were like calling the radio station, calling like, "There's a bunch of shit in the sky," you know, and it's like, yeah, you know, that is where we are. We are somewhere in the middle of that extensive vastness. And so, anyways, wow, what an uplifting speech we've had here. All just coming from talking about why I prefer to do things at night. And I didn't even really think that we talked about that too much, right? And so, as much as I'd like to talk about that, I don't really want to talk about that right now, just because this was a short video. I wanted to come on and be a little playful. And I understand that my videos haven't been, and in fact, let's just get out of character. All right, hey, listen, I really appreciate you guys. It's much easier to do this when it's just me, okay? You know, I really appreciate all of the support and all the participation in the channel recently, and all the new people and all these different things. I'm trying some different things on my end, you feel me? I'm trying to be silly. I'm trying to just, you know, reacclimate myself to the idea that, putting an hour at least every day into this is something that I'm just more than committed to doing, because I want something out of y'all, you feel me? Like your votes and your subscriptions and so forth. But it's sort of like, there's more to it than that, you know. And I had made a video that I didn't upload, which was cool, because I actually didn't feel that way, and that like I really, you know, enjoy challenging myself. And you know, I'm my harshest critic, just because like if I'm not doing something online, or if I'm not involved heavily in the community that I'd like to think I'd help start, you know, here on YouTube, in terms of just finding a place to, you know, use me as background noise or laugh at my silliness or whatever, you feel me? Like, I just appreciate y'all being here. And moreover, anytime I talk about socialism or there's socialist stuff in the titles of these videos, that's really where, you know, a lot of people come back and stuff and watch as a repeat viewer and so forth. And so shout out to all those people. You know, I'm not entirely negating that content creation on the daily for any other reason than just because, like, there's more to me than being a socialist and me wanting to do the things that I want to do in my pretty soon come here years of my life and so forth, you feel me? And I think that's a whole part of the package here, you feel me, is that, like, you know, I'm introducing myself to America, to the world, you know, and all while willfully consenting to the idea that I'll never have privacy again, and, you know, my life will have to find value in other ways, you know, and I'm cool with that. And you know, as a socialist, as a pure socialist, you know, I am thinking like that. So I appreciate you guys watching my show, right, and getting to know me, and the silly stuff, and the professional, you know, work that I attempt to do in the way that, like, I am an actor, you know, and I'm a kind of comedian, and I'm definitely a public speaker, and, you know, and so those are different things, and they require the same kinds of skills but utilized in a different way, you feel me? And so I find that the bread and butter of these very personal vlogs, you know, are kind of where we can find some middle ground, you know, and like, be mutual digital friends, and I can feel comfortable asking you for things, all while ensuring that, like, my whole goal in life is to never be compromised, not for anything, you feel me? And that's something that, as a socialist, is really my biggest sell, right? Because the moment I become a socialist and or just a person who doesn't abide by that very specific ethos, then, you know, I find myself in a real weird situation where I don't want to be ever, you feel me? And I just you know, I'm a prideful guy, and I don't care, and, you know, so far as it concerns, like, the future of my politics and stuff like that. That's specifically what I'm talking about, just because, like, what we're about to do is, like, unheard of, you feel me, in terms of, like, you know, being able to be a part of a party politically that I think, and I feel strongly about, will be here to stay, you know, in America, and hopefully in other parts of the world as the future progresses. And then who knows where it goes from there, you know? But I know that the next step in our evolution of just, you know, trying to be civil with one another and stuff, and trying to figure this shit out, is definitely being socialist. And you know, I think that's something, if we do sooner than later, it'll be easier to implement, you know, not just because in the future people will need it, but just also because people have always needed it historically. You know, people have always needed welfare and social like subsistence, like, from their government, you feel me? There's never been a society in the world where you had just everybody out, you know, pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps and becoming trillionaires like Elon Musk, you feel me? And again, we may even want to aspire to do those things, and that's fine, you feel me? I mean, it's just, it's not representative of all of us. And I think collectively, what's more important for everyone is always what's most important, and that's more important than what's just best for that single person and or a small group of people, right? And I feel like that, you feel me? And so that's why we make these videos, and I appreciate you guys watching them. So have a really good night, and we'll talk to y'all really soon, okay? Bye.